Man, the more I get DMs from y'all talking about what you're going through, the more I realize something. The deepest wounds, they leave scars that eyes can't see. They're not the physical ones. I'm not trying to invalidate physical harm or abuse, but it's those emotional wounds. It's those nights that you go to sleep crying and you got questions you can't answer and nobody else can either. It's you questioning yourself. Is your reality really real? Or are you making up stuff? Was you raised wrong? Or are you just still traumatized from your past? And they're usually left. Those type of wounds are caused by the type of men I consider to be the most dangerous. And the most dangerous man to be with is the man that doesn't want to love you, even though you give him all the chances, all the explanations on how to, but also doesn't want to lose you. That is the most dangerous man to be with. It's not the man who's doing all the physical stuff, making all the physical threats. It's the man that does not want to love you, but he refuses to let you go. Now, I know that's going to go over some people's heads. You know, I'm looking at this sister now. I'm going back and forth with her. You know, of course, I'm not going to say exactly who she is, but, you know, what she's giving me right now, I'm telling her this. And I can see it's already falling on deaf ears, so a lot of people ain't going to feel what I'm saying. But if you've ever been there before, if you know what I'm saying to be true whenever I say that, put I down in the chat. Just put a letter I down in the chat. It ain't but so many that's going to understand what I'm saying when I say this. The most dangerous man to be with is the one that will hurt you, take you for granted, play with you, disrespect you, push you away, do everything he can to lose you. And the moment you get ready to make that a reality, he says, no. Like, I'm really trying. I mean, don't forget this. Don't forget that. I just covered all the bills, so you ain't got to worry about that. Here's this thing that you've been asking for all of this time, and you still vulnerable to him. You still vulnerable because you love him. Your love is real, even if his isn't. You still vulnerable to him. Therefore, your heart wants to believe some of the things that he's saying. Therefore, you know, you tempted to give it a chance, like you hoping like all of this that you were fooled into believing was really just a misunderstanding that's going to come and go. So now you're thinking maybe I should give it a little bit more time. Maybe I should wait it out. Like this man does not want to love you properly, but he fights like hell to keep you from leaving every time you do get the courage. He'll ignore your needs for months, then panic when you finally stop asking him to meet them. Put I down in the chat if you've ever dealt with this. Put I down in the chat if you've ever dealt with a man like this. The kind that'll treat you like an option, but demands that you treat him like a priority. This man does not want to be your partner. He wants to be your addiction. I don't know who needs to hear this. maybe the younger you needed to hear this. And now you need a reminder. But the most dangerous prison is not locked from the outside. It's the one that occasionally opens just wide enough to make you believe that freedom isn't what you really want. That's going to go over some people's heads again. And I want to be clear as I'm saying this, and the reason why I'm saying this is so that if you're at that crossroads of trying to figure out whether or not you should stay or whether or not you should leave or whether or not you're wrong for wanting to leave, then this man who's got you in this space where it's this gray area of undeniable attachment that he has with you and that you have with him, but questionable, if not, you have to be in denial to ignore the fact that this ain't love. And I'm here to tell you, you're right. All the gaslighting and lying and everything else that he done did, it got you questioning yourself. I'm here to confirm you are right. Because if he had truly come to the alpha male version of himself, he wouldn't need to play these games. Whether he needed to heal his way into the alpha male version of himself, whether he needed to learn, whether he needed to just come into agreement with the right way to do things and the best way to do people and the respect for karma that's going to come. An alpha male does not move in this way. An alpha male does not strictly go on attachment. He goes based on principle. And this is why I tell y'all, like, history can't be enough to stay with somebody. History, like, you got to be able to see a future with this person that includes the best version of you. And yes, I already talked about how to attract alpha males, so you don't have to deal with men like this. If you've attracted multiple men, who put you in this situation, I'm telling you now, you don't have to deal with that. It's totally up to you. If you ain't got money for all of my courses, I know they're thousands of dollars. I did this masterclass for free teaching you how to attract alpha males who will never have you encountering a situation like this, questions like this about your own sanity, fighting with yourself between your mind and your heart and all of that. I put the link down here in the comments, but just comment the word secrets and I'll send it to you. You don't have to put up with a man who hoards you like a possession that he doesn't want but refuses to release. You don't have to put up with men like that. For that kind of man, you become his security blanket, not his beloved. His attachment is about ownership. It's not about affection. When you see a lot of those things he's doing, it's not about how much he loves you, how much he cares for you. It's about how deep his hooks need to go into you to gain and retain the power that he already had. That's what it becomes about. See, I've met men who acted like this, Keisha says. Yeah, and share this right now, because again, a lot of people are not going to feel what I'm saying. They're not going to get it. If you do, we need more like-minded people like you. So share this on your timeline and put shared down in the comments so I can shout you out. I like to show love to those of y'all who are helping spread the truth. There's a lot of nonsense out here. But I want you for a second to understand if I'm talking to you. And I am, if you're dealing with a man who never initiates quality time, he rarely shows genuine interest in your life and what you got going on. He makes you feel invisible most days. But the moment you start pulling away, the moment you even just mention needing some space, suddenly he's available, he's attentive, you're his priority. Can you guys talk it out? Can you guys fix it? All couples go through things. Everybody goes through things. I promise I'm going to do better. I just need a little bit of time. This kind of man, he doesn't miss loving you. He misses having you. Because again, you're not his partner. You're his emotional insurance policy that he keeps in his back pocket for when life gets uncomfortable. Don't blame yourself. You're dealing with a man like this. It can have you feeling like you're so dumb, like you're so weak because you just don't know what to do. You just can't leave and you know that you should, or you feel like you should, and everybody else is saying that you should, but maybe it's you. No. You've gotten attached along with your love. This man has put attachment in place of love. So you're thinking you can continue to apply love as a way to validate the attachment. He's just trying to deepen the attachment so he never has to love you. You're not crazy. You're not making up things. You're not tripping. You ain't overthinking. This is really real. This type of brother will give you enough to survive, but never enough to thrive. And I'm talking about in a relationship. That is intentional. That's intentional. And whenever he gives you this starvation diet of breadcrumbs, it keeps you grateful for the little bit that just keeps you wanting for. It keeps you grateful. But that scarcity is calculated and it creates artificial value. So he'll throw you a bone of affection right when you're about to give up hope. When you're getting enough courage, when you're finally saying, okay, look, I know what to do now. Enough is enough. That's the last time you're going to play with me. That's the last time you're going to make me feel like this. He'll send you a sweet little text message. He'll do a little romantic, thoughtful gesture just when you've had enough. He'll give you just enough attention to reset your expectations back to nothing. He's not being inconsistent. He's being strategic. Because if he fed you properly, you might realize you deserve better. That will become your new baseline. This is what I absolutely must have. But if he starved you completely, then you would leave. So he gives you just enough survival rations and then disguises it as love. That is the most dangerous type of man to be with. Black said, dang, I feel this now. How do I let go? We get into that. But the first step I would say is to understand God did not stop making men. That is not the last brother. You don't have to deal with that. A lot of times at a subconscious level, we convince ourselves, well, we got to stick this out because it's so much worse on the outside. It does get worse on the outside, no doubt about it. I mean, things can always get worse, but it definitely gets better than that. And if you lack the confidence because you lack the clarity on how you can get better, how you could possibly get somebody better, I'm telling you now, first off, it has a lot to do with what you've now come into agreement with about your value based on somebody who doesn't see it. Once you retract yourself from that person, you'll detach yourself from how they see you. Secondly, you need the right strategies to position yourself for an alpha male. What you've been doing has positioned you for the kind of man that you've attracted. And yes, you've attracted multiple, but who you've entertained has a lot to do with certain habits that have run in the background. Things that you don't know about how to attract an alpha male. But don't worry, I'm not coming at you. I got your back. Like, this is why I do what I do. I have courses and all that kind of stuff, but I made this one free. A free masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. I made it free. The step-by-step that's helped 14,000 plus women already attract their alpha male. You don't have to go guessing. I put the link down in the comments, but just comment the word secrets and I'll send it to you for free. Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only, if that's something you're interested in. By the way, it's free. I'm not selling it to you. It's free. But back to what I was saying, for those of y'all that had that cloudy brain fog of a season of a relationship where you know something ain't right, but you're just not quite ready to go and you're just not sure, let this be your clarification here. Let this be your confirmation here. When you're dealing with a man like this, he doesn't fight for the relationship. The only thing he fights is against your exit strategy. That's the only thing he fights, and it's against. His efforts aren't about improving connection. They're about preventing your departure. Big difference. And you see, when we're not taught any better, we confuse the two. Well, if he tries so hard to keep me from leaving, surely that's the same as him trying so hard for the relationship. No, those are two completely different things. Think about those people who live a life of crime on purpose, no need, no economic survival mode that they're in. They like crime. They think it's cool. But the moment they get to court, they begging, they crying, they falling out on the floor. They don't want to go to jail. You see, one has to do with the way we choose to live, our value system, and the other has to do with an avoidance or desire to avoid consequences. That's the difference. So when a man invests in retention, but not in relationship quality, he's the most dangerous type of man to be with. He don't put no energy into making you happy. Not when you're at least content. He don't put no energy into going over and beyond, doing more, doing the best he can. But then he becomes a different person when you're finally ready to walk away. That sudden attention that he's giving you, that's not about love. That's not about love. That's about loss prevention. That kind of man doesn't want to love you better. He wants to trap you longer. Every promise that he makes when you're leaving is designed to buy him some more time until your determination weakens, not to create lasting change. Am I making sense to anybody? Put facts down in the chat. If I'm making any sense to you right now, I'm looking down in the comments, and yes, if you comment the word shared once you share this, comment the word shared once you share this, so I can shout you out. June says we let the same men pick us because we don't know. Yeah, get the secrets, lady. She says yes. The only secrets, because a lot of times I feel like women have always been policed and, respectability politicked into being better and better and better and not positioning themselves for somebody who actually deserves that better that they've become. That's my belief. That's what I've seen. 12, 13 years of doing this. This is what I've seen thousands and thousands of times. But there are good men out here. There are men who have done the work. There are men who love from a healthy place. This is not man bashing. This is weak beta male bashing. This is narcissistic bashing. This is not man bashing. Because real men, alpha males, do exist. But you have to know how to position yourself for one. No matter how good you are. Otherwise, you deal with guys like this, the type that will master the art of intermittent reinforcement. Because they know that it's the most addictive form of emotional manipulation. random rewards that create stronger attachments, so they never have to invest in consistent love. Unpredictable affection that hits harder than a reliable, consistent care. They know what they're doing to your central nervous system. They know that once you stay on that roller coaster long enough, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to get off. And if you're a woman in a situation, I'm going to tell you, matter of fact, put I down in the chat if this applies to you. If you are in a relationship or ever have been in a relationship where you never know which version of this man that you're going to get, like the dismissing anger or the charming lover, you never know which one. And that uncertainty creates this biochemical addiction in your brain that's stronger than if he were to just be consistently good to you. So at this point, you're not even staying because the relationship is amazing. You're staying because your nervous system is hooked on this irregular dose of validation. I'm going to tell you, that's not your boyfriend. That's your dealer. That is your dealer. This type of man loves the idea of you, and especially you loving him, more than he has really come into agreement with the responsibility of loving you. Like your devotion feeds his ego, while his investment, it remains minimal. That's how you know you're dealing with this type of guy. Yeah, I see y'all in there. I'm glad I'm talking to somebody. He enjoys being loved without reciprocating the emotional labor. So he basks in your attention. He celebrates when you prioritize him, and then feels validated by your effort to make him happy. But he never seems so curious about what makes you happy, what you need to feel loved, how to contribute to your joy. He doesn't want to be loved by you as much as he wants to be worshiped by you, needed by you, wants you codependent on him. So in this case, you're not his equal partner, you're his audience and his ego supply. I know this isn't fun to hear, but again, this is the freedom papers for those who may be unsure, who may be still trying to navigate, still trying to weigh out the good versus the bad. And you looking outside at other people's toxic relationships and saying, well, it might not get no better for me. It might get amazing for you. It might get amazing for you. And you have to be very careful because these men will weaponize your fear of abandonment while simultaneously creating the very conditions that justify it. So your attachment trauma becomes his control mechanism. That's why you got to be very careful about what you divulge to a man, especially too early before you've seen his patterns. And sometimes it ain't even about, something that you've been through in the past. Like this kind of man will literally create the wound to position himself as the only cure. I know they're going to be mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. It's the truth. It's the ugly truth, but it's the truth nonetheless. And what really sucks about this kind of guy is that you can rationalize the fact that anybody who cares on some level doesn't want to lose you to another man. The difference is he also doesn't want to be the man worth keeping. That's the difference. It's not just that he don't want to lose you to another man. It's that he also has territorial behavior without corresponding investment. He wants possessiveness, but without partnership. So he'll monitor your interactions with other men. He'll get jealous when you receive attention elsewhere. He'll panic at the thought of you being with somebody else. He will. And it'll seem like, well, he loves me. He cares. But why is it that he won't put any effort to make you want to stay with him? He wants exclusive access to you, but he doesn't offer exclusive commitment to you. He's not protecting the relationship. He's guarding his property that he doesn't want to maintain but refuses to let go. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If I'm speaking facts, tell me I'm speaking facts. Put facts down in the comments. If I'm speaking facts, put facts down in the comments. And again, you do not, I say this and I say this over and over again because I know what it's like when you're trapped in this type of situation and your central nervous system just feels like if it takes one more blow, you ain't gonna make it. And if you leave and you disrupt everything, you ain't gonna make it. But what if you're wrong? And so on and so forth. I just posed this question. I submit to you this. What if you're right? Not what if you're wrong, but what if you're right? That this isn't love? What if you're right that you deserve better? What if you're right that another man would love you, everything about you that this man takes for granted? What if you're right that leaving is the only way to stop what he's doing to you? What if you're right that he's going to miss you whenever you're gone and you're going to heal and be better off without him? What if you're right? Because I'm here to tell you, you are. You are. If you're willing to cut that trauma bond, that soul tie, and position yourself for a true alpha male who's equally yoked with you, who doesn't need to lose you first to realize what he had when he had it, you're right. In thinking that I need to leave and it's going to get better if I leave and I just got to get the courage to leave. But again, you have to do the work. Now, I'm not here to tell you it's going to fall out the sky. Unfortunately, good people don't just receive everything good. Otherwise, you already would have. You have to get in position. I talked about this yesterday. It's like you can put in the work at your job to earn a certain paycheck. But if you're not there to pick up your check, to collect your check, you're not in position to receive your money. You're not going to get it. If you haven't filled out the papers for direct deposit, you're not going to get that money that you earned. A lot of y'all have earned the money, but you have not shown up to get your check. You are not in position on the dating scene to get your check. You're alpha male, a man who leads with principles, a man who doesn't treat you how he feels. He treats you how God teaches him to treat you because that's what he's submitted to. And I'm not even talking about being religious. I'm talking about a man who's principle led. It's too much to go into here. But again, if that's something you are on the market for, a true alpha male, I give you the step-by-step guide to attracting multiple so you could choose the one that's right for you. In my free masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. I'll put the link down here in the comments, but comment the word secrets. I'll send it to you free. I will send it to you for free. But again, if you don't hear nothing else I say, hear this. The most dangerous man to be with. It's not the one that can't love you. It's not the one that has hurt you before, physically threatened you. It's the man who does not want to love you, but he also doesn't want to lose you. That's the man that's the most, that he'll starve you of affection for months on end, then panic feed you attention when you're ready to leave. That's the most dangerous man to be with. He doesn't want to be your partner. He wants to be your addiction. He'll never love you enough to make you want to stay, but he'll manipulate you enough to make leaving feel impossible. That's not love, sis. That's emotional hostage. That's emotional hostage. That's emotional hostage taking with excellent customer retention strategies. That's what that is. So stop confusing his fear of losing you with his desire to keep you and love you and cherish you. Those are not the same. And you deserve the difference. But those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet big bro, and I got your back at all times. You might not love what I said, but if you found something true that I said, put your money away. I do this for free. But I just ask that you pay it forward to somebody else who might get blessed by this message the same way that you did. By hitting that share button somewhere down here at the bottom, find that little arrow. Takes you 2 seconds to bless somebody else. You might just change their life. Again, I'm your internet big bro. And if you want more like this, click the link that you see pinned down here in the comments to get access to my masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. That's where I go in depth with how you can stop this pattern and get in position for the man that deserves you. Not just a man who swears he wants to be with you and doesn't want to lose you. I'll let y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.